wanna live far from the metropolis. Just walk through that door. Sometimes I feel like I wanna fly, reach out to the painted sky, a prisoner to the wind, a bird on the wing. Like the warm rush you get from black opium, black opium. I feel like I wanna leave behind all these memories and walk through that door. Outside, the black night calls my name, but all roads look the same. They lead nowhere. They lead nowhere.
Beautiful, beautiful. Dead Can Dance. Yeah. I'm not sure whether the title of the song is Opium or Black Opium. Either ways, it went verse by verse, quite intense, quite deep, quite philosophical at times, for me at least, deciphering the lyrics. The first time he wants to get out into the countryside, into the open air, into the rural landscape, wants to get away possibly from an urban landscape into the rural landscape, the countryside, wants to escape it all, take a break. Second verse, he wants to fly like a bird, be imprisoned only by the sky, the open sky. The third verse, he wants to be like the ocean, describes the ocean in fact, the tears, the salty tears of the ocean water perhaps. Then in the fourth verse, again he wants to get out, escape, take a break, he wants to take a road, but all roads lead to nowhere apparently. Yeah, so it's a very deep, dark song. It's perhaps a person who's in a very disturbed and deeply depressed state of mind who just wants to escape. More or less, it sounds like the person wants to escape it all, wants to have some kind of distraction, detour from everyday routine, everyday whatever's upsetting him. He wants to just break free from it all, whether as a bird, whether in the ocean, whether in the countryside. He just wants to escape his normal abode, and that's what a lot of people, millions of people have similar issues, and some of them just don't manage to get over it. Some of them don't manage to escape. Some of them don't manage to find a detour, a distraction. So and that's why hobbies really come into play. Meditation really comes into play.
Yeah.
When you really meditate, it makes a big difference. Recently, we just happened to get an oximeter as a bonus for some shopping that we did. We got a big discount, so we got this tiny oximeter, and you just put your finger in it, and after a
You're done.
few seconds, it gives you the reading. So that oximeter. Kirti told me an interesting thing when I took my reading, since I do suffer a bit from hypertension. So she just, this is the oximeter we got, just a tiny little thing. You stick your finger in here and get the reading. That's how it works. So yeah, so she just said, since the reading seemed to be a bit high the first time, she said, why don't you do some deep breathing and do it after a couple of minutes. So I did some meditation, light meditation, deep breathing meditation. And after a couple of minutes, again, I stuck my finger in this oximeter. And apparently that number
Pulse
reduced
rate.
by 10 points. The pulse rate reduced by 10 points. Heart rate also slowed down by a significant number. So it just shows just 2 minutes of meditation, and that's the difference you can get in yourself. So for this person who seems to be wanting to run away from it all, get away from it all, have an escape, have a detour, a healthy distraction, meditation is the best thing. If you just can't get away, like many people just can't get away, from their normal abode, routine, etc., etc. Best thing is to have some meditation. Another thing I really used to follow a lot earlier, now I've cut down, incense therapy. So just listening to that black opium. One of my favorite incense sticks was Satya's Black Opium incense stick. So that had a unique fragrance, that Black Opium. But anyway, incense therapy really is wonderful. Of course, natural incenses, when burned, amazing. Absolutely so relaxing, so divine. You just are taken away into a different world. Of course, Nag Champa is my all-time favorite, Satya Nag Champa. But there are many now which I've, tried out over the years. I'm a huge incense therapy fan, and even created a detailed video of the 200 odd benefits of incense. So yeah, absolutely amazing. This song really makes you think, and definitely every single person, I believe, definitely, whether it's a therapist, a counselor who's actually helping his clients or patients, or her clients or patients get over such issues. All of them, the therapist, the counselor, the patient, the client, everyone has issues in their life, and sometimes they need to get away. But if you just can't get away, which sometimes is difficult, and even if you get away, you happen to carry along your mobile phone, so you're still attached to your life, routine life. So if you can't get away, meditation, incense therapy, such things, hobbies, healthy hobbies, there's so many. Art, writing, etc., etc. There's so many delightful hobbies which you can take up, and you will feel really good. You won't feel so depressed and sad, and want to be like a bird flying and get feeling all roads lead to nowhere. Feeling that kind of made me feel this person is in a deeply distraught state of mind, depressed state of mind. Very well done by Dead Can Dance. It really gets you in, pulls you in into the state of mind of this person who's singing, as well as the music is crafted so wonderfully. Well done.
Well, it's about the Can Dance. It's also about the female vocalist of theirs, who I also missed in this one. But this was phenomenal. The way the music went, typical, quintessential Dead Can Dance. And I like whenever he would say sometimes, that had an effect. Each time that sometimes was said wonderfully. It's something that you will remember, the way he says sometimes. So I like this heavy voice. It sounded good. And most people, this is not unusual these days. I think in 90% of the people, it's not just 80 anymore, 80-20. It's 90% of the people around the world, whether living in the countryside or living in the urban areas, they feel they are stuck sometimes. That sometimes. And some people are perpetually stuck. It's not just sometimes, it's more than sometimes. They feel on a daily basis, they feel they really need to do something about it, but they don't know where to start, what exactly is missing in their life. They don't have any answers because they don't really ask the right questions. When you have the right kind of question, even to yourself, you will be able to answer. Sometimes people feel this way because they are doing things that aren't really they want to do it. They are doing it just because of obligations. They are doing it because they are obligated to do it, but they don't really feel connected. Career, is a thing. In the 90s, I would say, I was very young at that time, but once a person had a career, it was it. You start out maybe after your education was over. By the time you were in your mid-20s, most people would have a career, considering the population was lower compared to what it is today. And then the same career a person stuck to for the next 40-50 years also in their lifetime, till they actually retired from that career and then had their second inning, or called the retirement time, or the phase. So that was the phase, maybe 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But this century has been different. If you ask anyone who has been in the same career for more than 5 years, Savio, or even 7 years, they seem to be completely burnt out of that career, and they feel sometimes, I want to escape. I want to do something. Although there is so much more you can do when you're choosing your career, that this is right and that is right, and there are so many counseling opportunities that are open, there are so many avenues, online, offline, everywhere, where you match things according to your preferences, according to your interests, according to your education, qualification, and everything. Yet the careers are not fulfilling, are not letting people actually be satisfied. It has become and the threshold that we are not breaking is not, it's not about the career. It's that we are living in the past. The people of the past had a habit of living in the habit. People of today are pretty hyperactive. If someone tells a new generation of someone who was born Gen Z to do the same thing for the next 5 years to 10 years, they will say, "What, are you crazy?" Today they do something, for a month they do something, next month they are on to something else, after that maybe they are on to something else. This tear, the pull, or tug of war between the past, all the things that have become new. A lot of people feel sometimes, I want to escape, but they don't really know what is troubling them, what exactly is wrong with them. There are so many barriers that we have in our mind, that we can't break this, or we can't do this. This is how the normal thing is supposed to work. If you don't do it right, it is not right. You will end up broke, or you will end up on the roads. I feel a lot of fears that make people feel sometimes they want to just escape, because I feel deep down they are not doing. It's not only about career, it's about choices in family, in life, whatever they have made, that they have to be stuck to those things, otherwise it doesn't work out. And when you actually meditate, like Savio said, you find questions at least where you can start with, and then you find answers. What exactly it is that is making me feel that way? A lot of people who feel that way don't even know the reason why. They feel they have a great life, they have a good house, they have a good family, and everything is beautiful. Why should I be even feeling that way? So even they feel guilty even for feeling that way, that they want to escape. I think there are more deeper layers in that. Life isn't anymore that simple. It is in the 90s, it is in the 80s. Maybe, someone in America will disagree. 80s weren't easy, or maybe 60s weren't easy. Rest of the world, more or less, it was all right. Or the parts where America didn't wage a war. So that's what, yeah. So maybe it was pretty difficult 80s in America. In certain parts in India, it became pretty simple because it was after independence and we had got enough freedom and things were coming back on track. So life was simple and things like that. So of course our experiences are different. But things have suddenly, for everyone, altogether globally, the world has gone global, people have gone global, and so are the problems. Problems have become so global, and so, at the same time, the same problem people are facing, whether it's somebody is living in Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, everywhere people feel on a similar level at this moment. And after the pandemic, I think it made everybody come on the same stage and same, more or less on the same level. Everyone is feeling this sometimes. This was a feeling, pandemic feeling, it was a pandemic feeling as well. That sometimes I just want to get out of here. Now, a lot of people did get out and they did make new choices, whether for good or bad, they will know in the future. But these feelings keep occurring again and again. And one thing that people don't do is sometimes you must question yourself. Why? And really introspect. And that introspection only can happen when you are honest to yourself. And also, meditate on a daily basis. You don't really have these sometimes then. These sometimes become blissful.